It's total and utter chaos.
Such a mess.
Put that desk back the way it was, Darren.
Right. Well, there have been a lot of Pokemon spin-off games.
Affirmative. 32 to be exact, if we count the Red and Blue Mystery Dungeon games as one.
Well, yes, but so far none of them have been quite like Pokemon Conquest.
Pokemon Conquest is a tactical role-playing game from the developers of the acclaimed Nobunaga's Ambition series. You play as the new warlord of the Aurora Kingdom, trying to conquer 17 kingdoms in the hope of uniting Ransei and meeting the Pokemon that created it.
But you're not the only one with this aim in mind, as all the other warlords are battling it out to meet this legendary Pokemon. It's quite refreshing to have a Pokemon game set in feudal Japan, isn't it?
Well, my first thought was this isn't a Pokemon game at all. I mean, it plays more like a tactical RPG.
Yeah.
You place your Pokemon on an isometric grid and take it in turns to move and attack. But after a bit more time with it, I've started to feel like this is actually the perfect crossover.
Yeah, and they've integrated so much about what makes Pokemon unique into this game. Water attacks are still super effective against Fire-type Pokemon. Abilities like Intimidate and Jagged Edge play a part in battles. Stats, status ailments, and even evolutions are all here. Plus, Magikarp still uses Splash.
I thought it was a great idea giving you an Eevee as your starting Pokemon. It's just so much fun choosing which evolution would best suit my party.
Pokemon veterans will definitely be at an advantage here in terms of knowing which Pokemon can evolve and which attacks will be super effective against your enemy. But if you're a noob, the game does do a good job of letting you know which type of Pokemon to bring into the big battles.
Yes, and there are heaps of tactics involved. Do I choose Pokemon that can attack from a distance or ones that do radial damage? And do I bring along some flying Pokemon that can traverse the map quicker, or just ones with the greatest type advantage? I do admit though, sometimes it's necessary to cop some friendly fire. Sorry friend, it's for the greater good.
I love the subtle changes in damage. For example, you'll do more damage if you're on a small cliff above your enemy, and if you don't attack them head on. The enemy artificial intelligence is really good too, because they'll flank you and they'll position themselves so you can't hit them. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's just such a shame that each Pokemon only has one attack move that they can use. I mean, it's classic Pokemon that each creature gets 4 attack moves, but here there's only one.
Yeah, but I think being able to choose your move on the fly would actually take away from some of the strategy. Then you wouldn't be able to position your Pokemon in ways to avoid their attacks. It's kind of like Advance Wars, and those games are my favourite DS games of all time, and mainly because all the units can only attack a certain way and move a certain way, so you've got that perfect, beautiful strategy there. Maybe it would have been nice to be able to pick your ability before the battle, though.
There's a good variety of maps. Some have poison pits that don't affect poison Pokemon, and others have rings that you fall out of when attacked. I especially liked the map with the teleporting portals.
And these maps really change the way that you approach a battle, too. One time I went in with a team that had a massive type advantage, but then they unleashed all these boulders on me. I spent the rest of the battle keeping out of the boulder's path. Awesome.
Your warriors can also link with wild Pokemon, and the better the link, the further you can strengthen that Pokemon. You're also given the option to recruit some of the warriors you fight, depending on how well you performed. A bit like Fire Emblem.
Yeah, but it's heartbreaking spending the entire game trying to recruit an awesome Pokemon, only to find that they have a terrible link with their warrior and can't grow much stronger. But regardless, with over 200 different Pokemon from all 5 generations in this game, you'll soon amass quite an army. Thankfully, you can delegate kingdoms to focus on specific tasks like training or searching for new warriors.
The region map is almost a whole strategy game in itself. You can perform one action for each warrior per month, whether that be battling or mining for gold, all of which strengthen the link between warrior and Pokemon. But you also have to make sure you have armies in the kingdoms next to your enemies in case they invade you. You could spend hours just sorting out which warrior you want where, and delegating what you want each kingdom to be doing each month. There's a lot to keep your eye on.
Yeah, I actually found that a little bit tedious. I mean, maybe my army just started getting a little bit too large, but I found it really difficult to keep track of where all my stronger Pokemon were. And it doesn't help that all your warriors' names are in Japanese.
Yeah, that gets confusing. What did you think of the multiplayer?
I found it a little bit disappointing, Badge. You use the warriors and Pokemon that you've already recruited, but there aren't any rewards or bonuses that carry over into the single player. I mean, all you get is a counter for your victories.
Plus, turn-based strategy games are great for online because lag doesn't affect the gameplay, but there's no online multiplayer. Outrageous! There could have been leaderboards and they could have shown which team the winners used to help newcomers. They could have even had replays of battles so you could learn strategies, but no.
Also, I think the interface could have been a bit sleeker. One thing that makes Advance Wars so great is you can turn off all the battle animations and it selects your next unit automatic, so it's like, go, 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 rah! But this, you have to click everything, and I don't know, I thought that could have been a little bit better, but perhaps I'm nitpicking. Anyway, final thoughts, Hex?
Well, I suspect a lot of Poke fans will jump on this simply because it's got Pokemon in the title, but nevertheless, I still think it's one of the best Poke spin-offs out there. Even though I was frustrated with some of its flaws, I still had a great time with it. I'm giving it 8 out of 10 rubber chickens.
These are my types of games, Hex. I love these types of games, and it's just a bonus that it's Pokemon, so I'm giving it 8.5 out of 10.